Hey everyone, and welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're diving into the thrilling world of James Bond again. This time it's From Russia with Love. This 1963 classic was the second installment in the Bond franchise, and it helped solidify 007 as the suave spy we all know and love. But how well do you really know the film? So grab your martini, shaken not stirred of course, and let's uncover 20 things you never knew about From Russia with Love. Due to the pressure of releasing the follow-up to Dr. No within a year, screenwriter Richard Maybaum found himself constantly rewriting the script during production. Scenes were changed on the fly, with Red Grant being added to key moments in the Istanbul sequences just before the cast and crew travelled to Turkey. Ian Fleming's novel was a Cold War thriller, but given the political tensions of the Cold War, Eon Productions made a conscious decision not to portray Russians as the villains. Instead, the filmmakers introduced Spectre as a fictional evil organisation, making the film more palatable for global audiences without stepping into politically sensitive territory. Filming the train station sequence at the railway station in Istanbul drew thousands of curious onlookers, most of them hoping to catch a glimpse of Sean Connery. This made it incredibly difficult for the filmmakers to capture the shots they needed. To remedy this, Terence Young asked stunt coordinator Peter Perkins to create a distraction. Perkins cleverly dangled himself upside down from a nearby balcony, pretending to be stuck. His stunt worked like a charm, diverting the crowd's attention long enough for Young to film the brief but crucial boarding scene on the Orient Express. The iconic boat chase sequence wasn't part of Fleming's novel, but was added to give the film a more action-packed finale. The chase, featuring Bond and Tatiana being pursued by Spectre agents, was mostly filmed in various locations in Western Scotland. The production faced several dangers during this sequence. Terence Young, the film's director, was involved in a near-fatal helicopter crash while scouting locations for the chase. The helicopter plunged into 40 to 50 feet of water, trapping Young and two crew members in an air pocket for several hours before they were rescued. Despite the harrowing experience, Young returned to set shortly afterward, determined to finish the film. Additionally, actress Daniela Bianchi had her own accident, suffering injuries in a car crash on the way to the set. Though bruised, she completed the shoot with makeup covering her injuries. To top it off, the explosive ending to the boat chase, where the Spectre boats are blown up, got out of hand, resulting in serious injuries to 3 stuntmen and burns to actor Walter Gotell's eyelids. Sean Connery performed many of his own stunts, including the tense helicopter scene near the film's end. During filming, he also had a near-death experience as an inexperienced pilot flew dangerously close to Connery, putting the actor's life at serious risk. Ernst Stavro Blofeld, the sinister head of Spectre, makes his first appearance in From Russia with Love, though we never see his face. The body of Blofeld was portrayed by Anthony Dawson, who had appeared as Professor Dent in Dr. No, while his voice was provided by Austrian actor Erich Pohlmann. In the end credits, Blofeld is credited with a question mark. If you're enjoying the video, a subscribe to the channel would be as thrilling as getting a postcard from Bond. The intense fight between Bond and Red Grant on the Orient Express is one of the most realistic hand-to-hand combat scenes in the Bond franchise. It took 3 weeks to shoot, with Sean Connery and Robert Shaw performing most of their own stunts, thanks to Terence Young's choreography inspired by his university boxing days. One of the more nerve-wracking sequences in the film is when James Bond, Tatiana and Kerim Bey are forced to find an alternate escape route after being swarmed by rats in the underground cisterns beneath Istanbul. To film this, the production team initially used lab rats coated with cocoa powder to make them look like dirty sewer rats. However, the lab rats preferred licking the cocoa off themselves rather than running toward the actors. As it was illegal to use wild rats in British film productions, Terence Young led a small crew to Madrid, where they were able to film the scene using 200 wild rats caught by local rat catchers. In the original book, Fleming chose to build suspense by having Smersh assassin Grant introduced early in the novel, but then disappear until the climactic showdown with Bond. However, in the film adaptation, the screenwriter decided that the character needed a stronger presence to increase the tension throughout the movie. Several key scenes were added to showcase Grant tracking Bond and carrying out assassinations on behalf of Spectre. This helped build up to the epic train fight between Bond and Grant, making the final confrontation more satisfying for the audience. From Russia with Love was the first Bond film to include the now iconic pre-credits sequence. In this opening, a masked Red Grant stalks and kills a figure dressed as James Bond, only for it to be revealed as a training exercise. This set the tone for future Bond films, making pre-credit action sequences a staple of the franchise. The trapdoor, concealed behind actress Anita Ekberg's mouth on a poster for Call Me Buana, offers a clever piece of product placement. But this moment is actually inspired by Ian Fleming's original novel, where Krylenko escapes through a billboard advertising Niagara from 1953, which starred Marilyn Monroe. Since Monroe had passed away by the time the film was made, production designer Sid Kane suggested replacing her with Ekberg, who was under contract with Eon Productions. The British Board of Film Classification almost gave From Russia with Love an X rating, which would have restricted the film to viewers over 16. The issue stemmed from a scene where Bond and Tatiana are filmed from behind a one-way mirror. Originally, the cameraman appeared sweaty, but the BBFC felt this made the scene overly voyeuristic. After trimming it down, the filmmakers secured an A rating, allowing younger audiences to see the movie with an adult. After Dr. No became a hit, it attracted attention from one of cinema's greatest filmmakers, Alfred Hitchcock. Reportedly, Hitchcock was interested in directing the sequel. However, director Terence Young decided to return, and Hitchcock never got his chance to direct a Bond film. While Hitchcock remained a fan of the series, North by Northwest is the closest thing to a Hitchcock-directed Bond movie we ever got. When Sean Connery was initially cast as James Bond, author Ian Fleming wasn't fully on board. While Dr. No impressed him, it wasn't until From Russia with Love that Fleming became completely sold on Connery as Bond. In fact, Fleming even added a Scottish ancestry to Bond's backstory because of Connery. Robert Shaw, who played Red Grant, had to stand on a crate during his scenes with Sean Connery because he was 4 inches shorter than the towering actor. Steven Spielberg was so impressed by Shaw's performance as Grant that it influenced his decision to cast him as Quint in Jaws. Pedro Armendáriz, who portrayed Ali Kerim Bey, was battling terminal cancer during production. Determined to leave his family financially secure, he finished his scenes despite his illness. Producers shot all of his scenes in 2 weeks, and in several moments, Armendáriz had to be doubled due to his deteriorating health. Tragically, he took his own life just 4 months before the film's release. Eunice Gayson's Sylvia Trench, introduced in Dr. No, was initially intended to be a recurring character in the franchise. The plan was for her to appear at the beginning of each film as Bond's romantic interest before he was whisked away on a mission. However, the idea was scrapped when Guy Hamilton took over as director for Goldfinger. Spectre's island headquarters was actually filmed at Heatherden Hall and Gardens, the centrepiece of Pinewood Studios. They have appeared in numerous movies, including various entries in the Carry On films, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, The Great Gatsby and Batman. While the Orient Express plays a major role in the film, much of the train footage was actually shot in Scotland. The British Railways Board granted the filmmakers permission to shoot exterior sequences in Argyll, though some additional scenes were also filmed in Switzerland due to restrictions on filming behind the Iron Curtain. The wives of key filmmakers had small cameos in the film. Jacqueline Saltzman, wife of producer Harry Saltzman, appears in a train window during the Orient Express sequence, while Dorothea Bennett, wife of director Terence Young, is seen filming Bond and Tatiana in Venice. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about From Russia with Love. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.